The alien ship appeared over Earth without warning, hovering silently in orbit like a silver leviathan. Despite its apparent lack of hostility, the global panic was immediate. Governments scrambled to respond, while scientists and militaries worked overtime to establish contact. But the aliens were the ones to make the first move. When they finally spoke, the message broadcasted to every device on Earth was as confusing as it was unsettling. "We have come to exterminate the infestation." The aliens' words were cold, clinical. Humanity, it seemed, had been classified as nothing more than a planetary blight, mere insects in their eyes. Before any nation could respond, a fleet of smaller craft descended from the mothership, spreading across continents. They moved with precision, as if guided by a predetermined plan. Their weapons were unlike anything humans had ever seen. Cities were encapsulated in glowing energy domes. Forests disintegrated into dust with eerie silence, and oceans began to boil. Resistance was futile. Bullets and missiles disintegrated before reaching their targets. The aliens themselves were inscrutable, towering beings of sleek, metallic form, their faces blank, their voices a harmonic chorus. They didn't speak to humans directly but communicated through strange projections, always addressing us collectively as the infestation. The world's leaders convened in underground bunkers, desperate to find a way to respond. It was Dr. Anaya Patel, an astrophysicist, who suggested a radical idea: communicate with them using mathematics and symbology, universal languages that even advanced species would respect. Her reasoning was simple. If they saw us as insects, we had to show them we were more. Her proposal was accepted, and a team of experts began crafting a signal, an intricate series of patterns representing mathematical theorems, scientific principles, and even the complexities of human emotions through coded sequences. When the signal was transmitted, the aliens paused their operations. For the first time, the colossal mothership emitted a light beam directed at Earth, scanning it as if reevaluating their target. Then came their reply. "You are not vermin?" Dr. Patel seized the opportunity, sending a live video feed. She stood before the camera, explaining humanity's achievements, struggles, and aspirations. She spoke of the pyramids, the Voyager probes, quantum physics, and the sacrifices made in the name of progress. Her voice trembled as she ended with, "We are flawed, but we are sentient. We deserve a chance to prove ourselves." The silence that followed was agonizing. Then, a single alien craft landed in the middle of a desolated city. Its doors opened, and one of the beings stepped out, its form shimmering with an otherworldly glow. To humanity's shock, it spoke, not through projection but directly in English. "We miscalculated." The alien introduced itself as Zor'Thak, a member of an exploratory council tasked with assessing planetary civilizations. Their technology had detected humanity's pollution, wars, and environmental degradation, which they interpreted as the behavior of a parasitic species. But Dr. Patel's signal had challenged their assumptions. Zor'Thak requested to meet Earth's representatives. The meeting was tense but transformative. Through dialogue, the aliens revealed their civilization's long-standing policy of planetary cleansing, eliminating species they deemed unworthy of coexistence. Yet humanity's ingenuity, resilience, and capacity for self-reflection intrigued them. The negotiations lasted weeks. In the end, the aliens offered a conditional reprieve. Humanity would have a decade to prove it could correct its destructive course, reduce emissions, end wars, and demonstrate unity. In return, the aliens would share advanced technology to help accelerate progress. As the mothership departed, humanity was left with a stark choice: rise above its flaws or face annihilation. Governments were forced to cooperate like never before. The looming alien threat became a unifying force, pushing humanity to the brink of a new era. Dr. Patel became a symbol of hope, her words etched into history. They thought we were insects, but we showed them our humanity. Now, we must live up to it. The decade that followed would determine whether humanity's story was one of redemption or extinction. As the mothership disappeared into the void, humanity stood on the precipice of transformation. The alien ultimatum wasn't just a challenge. It was an indictment of everything humanity had become. Leaders from every nation convened for what was unofficially dubbed the Council of Survival. For the first time in history, global cooperation wasn't an aspiration, it was a necessity. But cooperation didn't come easily. Old rivalries flared as nations debated how to share the alien technology Zor'Thak had left behind. It was advanced but cryptic, machines capable of accelerating photosynthesis, devices that purified water in seconds, and materials that could construct self-sustaining habitats. Yet these gifts came with no manual, only Zor'Thak's chilling warning. The tools are yours, but the effort must be your own. While governments wrestled with bureaucracy, a grassroots movement took root. People across the globe banded together to clean rivers, plant forests, and repair ecosystems. Social media became a tool of accountability, exposing corruption and rallying communities. Environmental scientists, long ignored, became heroes, their expertise finally valued. Dr. Anaya Patel, now a global icon, led an international task force to decipher the most enigmatic piece of alien technology. A spherical device that pulsed with a faint, rhythmic glow. Nicknamed the core, it seemed to be alive, responding to touch with changes in light and sound. After months of study, Dr. Patel and her team made a breakthrough. It was a terraforming engine, capable of restoring entire ecosystems in hours. But there was a catch. Its energy source was finite, and activating it required perfect synchronization between human operators. As humanity raced against time, whispers of dissent grew louder. Some believed the aliens' reprieve was a trap, a way to manipulate humanity into self-destruction. Others argued that Earth wasn't worth saving, proposing mass colonization efforts instead. These factions formed underground movements, sabotaging environmental projects and hoarding resources. The tension came to a head when one such group infiltrated a United Nations facility, attempting to steal the core. Their plan backfired, triggering a chain reaction that nearly destroyed the device. Dr. Patel, present during the attack, barely escaped with her life. The incident became a rallying cry for unity, but it also exposed humanity's fragility. Meanwhile, Zor'Thak and the aliens observed from afar. Unknown to humanity, their evaluation was ongoing. Zor'Thak had petitioned the Council for leniency, citing humanity's potential for growth. But not all of its peers agreed. Some saw humanity as a cosmic experiment gone awry, a species too volatile to coexist in the galactic order. The tipping point came in the 9th year of the ultimatum. Despite significant progress, humanity's efforts were still imperfect. Rising sea levels continued to threaten coastal cities, and political conflicts over resource distribution escalated. Zor'Thak returned, its ship appearing suddenly over the Pacific Ocean. This time, there was no warning message, only silence. World leaders scrambled to respond, fearing the worst. But instead of unleashing destruction, Zor'Thak made contact with Dr. Patel directly. "You have made progress," it said, its voice resonating with an almost human warmth. "But progress is not perfection. We must decide now. Are you worthy of coexistence, or must you be purged?" Dr. Patel, exhausted but resolute, delivered humanity's final plea. She didn't highlight the technological advancements or environmental recovery. Instead, she spoke of the small moments, villages rebuilt after floods, rival nations forging alliances, children learning about the stars with a sense of wonder. She ended with a simple truth: we are not perfect, but we are learning. Give us the chance to continue. The Alien Council's decision came swiftly. A holographic projection appeared over every major city, Zor'Thak's voice echoing. Humanity will live. The conditions were stringent. Humanity would be monitored for another century, its actions scrutinized by unseen eyes. Failure to maintain progress would result in irreversible consequences. Yet the announcement was met with cheers and tears worldwide. In the years that followed, Earth transformed. The threat of extinction had galvanized humanity like never before. Cities became greener, industries cleaner, and conflicts fewer. Humanity didn't just survive. It thrived, driven by the memory of how close it had come to losing everything. Zor'Thak departed one final time, leaving behind a message encoded in light: you are no longer insects. Prove you are more. And humanity, for the first time, truly began to believe it. The century of observation, known as the Era of Reckoning, became a defining chapter in human history. Though humanity had been spared immediate extinction, the shadow of alien judgment loomed over every decision. The knowledge that the Alien Council could return at any moment, and with finality, kept governments, corporations, and individuals in check. Year 15, the awakening of the core. Dr. Patel's team finally unlocked the full potential of the core. The device could terraform barren land, heal poisoned rivers, and even reverse desertification in hours. However, its activation required immense energy, far beyond anything Earth's technology could currently generate. Harnessing this power became humanity's next great challenge. Efforts converged on a global solar grid, a network of satellites that harvested solar energy from space and beamed it to Earth. The project, codenamed Helios, united engineers, scientists, and visionaries from every continent. After years of trial and error, the core was successfully activated in the heart of the Sahara Desert, transforming a lifeless expanse into a lush, green paradise. But even as deserts bloomed and rainforests were restored, humanity faced a deeper challenge: learning to coexist. The old systems of exploitation, of nature, of people, of resources could no longer be sustained. Year 35. The first contact rift. In the third decade of the Era of Reckoning, something extraordinary happened. A splinter faction of the Alien Council made unauthorized contact with Earth. A smaller craft, distinct from Zor'Thak's mothership, landed in Antarctica. Its occupants, unlike Zor'Thak, were more hostile, their disdain for humanity barely concealed. "We disagree with the Council's leniency," they said. "Prove your worth, or we will rectify this mistake." The encounter sparked a global crisis. Were these beings acting independently, or were they testing humanity's resolve? Nations doubled down on their efforts to meet the Council's conditions, but the arrival of the splinter faction ignited a new wave of fear and paranoia. Conspiracy theories ran rampant, dividing societies once again. Dr. Patel, now in her 60s and regarded as the voice of reason, appealed for unity. "We cannot prove ourselves through fear," she said in a speech broadcast worldwide. "We must show them that humanity's strength lies in its capacity to rise above division." Her words inspired a new movement, one focused not just on survival but on transcending humanity's limitations. Artists, philosophers, and thinkers joined forces with scientists and engineers, creating a vision of Earth as a unified homeworld, not a collection of fragmented nations. Year 50, the event horizon. By the midway point of the century, humanity had achieved remarkable milestones. Space exploration flourished, with colonies established on the Moon and Mars. Renewable energy powered nearly every city, and ecosystems once on the brink of collapse now thrived. But beneath the surface, a question lingered. Was it enough? The Alien Council had been silent since Zor'Thak's departure, their judgment deferred but not forgotten. Then, in the 50th year, the mothership returned. This time it was not alone. 3 other colossal vessels accompanied it, each larger than the last, their presence blocking out the sun over major cities. The world braced for the worst. Zor'Thak's voice echoed once more. The Council has deliberated. You have shown growth, but the test is not complete. We will now evaluate the heart of your civilization. Not your technology, not your ecosystems, but your morality. The aliens revealed a final trial, one designed to test humanity's collective integrity. A device was delivered to Earth, a sphere containing a powerful substance capable of creating infinite energy. But it came with a cryptic warning. Its misuse will end you. The device, dubbed the Lumina Core, became a global enigma. Was it a gift or a trap? Nations convened to debate its use, knowing that any misstep could spell doom. Year 75, the betrayal. Despite global agreements to study the Lumina Core collaboratively, a rogue faction attempted to weaponize it. Their actions triggered a catastrophic chain reaction that destroyed an entire facility and caused widespread panic. The aliens intervened, appearing simultaneously over every major city. You falter, they declared, their voices cold and unforgiving. Your potential is not yet realized. The incident forced humanity to confront its darker instincts. Leaders who had enabled the rogue faction were deposed, and a new era of transparency began. The crisis became a turning point, sparking an unprecedented wave of introspection and reform. Year 100, the judgment. As the 100th year approached, humanity waited in collective anticipation. The Alien Council returned, their presence as imposing as ever. Zor'Thak emerged, its form more radiant, its voice more resonant. You have stumbled, but you have risen. You have erred, but you have learned. Humanity is not yet perfect, but perfection is not required. Growth is. The Council's verdict was clear. Humanity had earned the right to continue its journey. They gifted Earth a second Lumina Core, with detailed instructions for its use, and offered an invitation to join the galactic community, if and when humanity felt ready. The departure of the mothership marked the end of the era of reckoning and the beginning of a new age, the era of unity. For the first time in its history, humanity looked to the stars not with fear, but with hope. Dr. Patel, now a revered elder, watched the skies as the alien ships vanished. Her final words to the world echoed in every corner of the globe. We were insects to them, but we became something more. Now, it's time to show the universe what humanity can truly be. The era of unity, years 101 to 200, the Great Expansion. As the alien ships disappeared into the cosmos, humanity stood at the cusp of transformation. The alien judgment had been both a reprieve and a challenge, and humanity's invitation to the galactic community was a beacon of hope. But it also came with an unspoken weight. The understanding that the galaxy beyond Earth was far larger, far more advanced, and far less forgiving than anyone could imagine. Year 105, the building of the gate. The alien technology humanity had been granted, the Lumina Cores, offered nearly limitless energy. It became the cornerstone for the first major project of the era of unity, constructing a galactic gate, a device that would allow instantaneous travel to other parts of the galaxy. The gate's construction took place in orbit, a sprawling ring of intricate machinery that shimmered with an unearthly glow. Engineers and scientists from all nations worked side by side, their collaboration a testament to what humanity could achieve when united. But there was a lingering question. Would activating the gate summon help or danger? The gate's completion in year 120 marked a monumental achievement. Humanity, standing on the threshold of interstellar exploration, faced its next great decision: whether to open the door to the stars. Many feared what might lie beyond, but the overwhelming consensus was clear: humanity was ready. Year 121. The first contact beyond. When the gate activated, the energy rippled across the solar system, briefly illuminating the skies of Earth and Mars with an aurora-like glow. On the other side, a vast network of similar gates connected to distant worlds. Humanity sent its first explorers, a coalition team led by Captain Elena Torres, into the unknown. The team's mission was to find allies, or, at the very least, to learn about the civilizations beyond. What they discovered was both awe-inspiring and humbling. The galaxy was teeming with life, from massive, aquatic leviathans that lived in oceans of ammonia to crystalline entities that communicated through light. And yet, for all its diversity, there was an undeniable truth. Humanity was still a young, fragile species compared to many of these ancient civilizations. The explorers returned with stories and technology, but also warnings. Many species in the galaxy viewed newcomers with suspicion, and humanity's history of violence and environmental degradation did not go unnoticed. Year 150. The Galactic Summit. By the midpoint of the 2nd century, humanity was no longer a solitary species. It had forged tentative alliances with several smaller civilizations and earned a provisional seat at the Galactic Summit, a council of advanced species that governed interstellar relations. But earning a voice on the council was not the same as earning respect. Humanity's representatives faced constant scrutiny. Every decision, every mistake was amplified. Some species saw humanity as reckless, its potential for self-destruction a liability. Others admired its creativity and resilience, seeing echoes of their own turbulent pasts. It was during this time that Zor'Thak reappeared, this time not as a judge but as a guide. It revealed that it had advocated for humanity's survival because it saw in them a quality rare among the stars: the ability to adapt, even in the face of overwhelming odds. "You possess the spark of chaos," Zor'Thak told the summit, its voice resonating with an almost reverent tone. "A dangerous quality, but also a necessary one. In a stagnant universe, chaos brings change." Year 175. The Shadow War. Not all alien civilizations were friendly. Humanity's expansion into the galaxy brought it into conflict with the Zor'Thak, a warlike species that thrived on conquest. The Zor'Thak saw humanity's entry into the galactic fold as a threat to their dominance and launched a series of covert attacks, targeting human colonies and allies. The Shadow War, as it became known, was humanity's first major test as a spacefaring species. It was a war fought not just with ships and weapons but with alliances, diplomacy, and subterfuge. Humanity's survival depended on its ability to outthink an enemy far more experienced in interstellar warfare. Through a combination of ingenuity and the support of its allies, humanity emerged victorious. But the cost was high. Entire colonies were lost, and the scars of the conflict would linger for generations. Year 200. Humanity's Declaration. At the bicentennial of the alien ultimatum, humanity made a bold declaration to the galaxy. In a speech broadcast through the Galactic Network, Earth's representative to the Galactic Summit, Ambassador Ibrahim Okoro, addressed not just the Council but every known civilization. "We were once seen as insects, crawling on the surface of a single world. But we have risen not through conquest, but through growth. Not through destruction, but through creation. To those who doubt us, we say, watch us. To those who stand with us, we say, join us. Humanity is here to stay." The speech marked a turning point. Humanity was no longer merely surviving. It was thriving, carving out a place for itself among the stars. Epilogue. A new beginning. As humanity looked to the future, It remained ever aware of the path that had brought it here. The lessons of the past, the near destruction of Earth, the ultimatum, the trials were etched into its collective memory. Humanity was far from perfect, but it had become something greater than it once was. And somewhere, in the quiet reaches of the cosmos, Zor'Thak watched. The spark of chaos had indeed ignited a flame, one that would burn brightly for millennia to come. For better or worse, humanity was now a part of the galaxy's grand tapestry, and its story was just beginning.